What's up, fancy friends? So, I actually had a whole plan for tonight. I was planning to be on for an hour. The conversation was an hour on mental health. That was the topic. Of course, I'll let you guys know in my community post, but unfortunately, we had to pivot. We had to change course, and I'll wait a few seconds before I get into, well, a few minutes before I get into everything, just to see if anyone wants to join us and listen to me have my discussion that is completely off the cuff because, like I said, had to pivot. So we're gonna give a few minutes for some guests to hopefully arrive. And what I will tell you is we got 30 good minutes, baby. That's what we got. 30 good minutes. So just bear with me for the 30 minutes and I'm going to be out of y'all here. Okay? So, first things first, let's let's acknowledge the elephant in the room, honey, because it's been a while, YouTube. It's been a good long while. But I did post a short in October. So that wasn't too long ago, but it has been a while for anything else. Like live, it's been a while. But I am happy to be back. I'm planning to make this a weekly occurrence. So y'all tune in. Tune in. We're going to have some great topics. We're going to cover some great information. And I would love to have the conversation with y'all. You know, like, y'all ask me questions. Y'all talk back to me in the comments. And I respond, answer, talk back. You know what I'm saying? Dialogue. Conversation. Okay? So, we're planning for one live a week right now, starting out. It could increase to more, but starting out, we are planning for one live a week. Hi, Apollo. Welcome in. We're planning for one live a week, Wednesdays at 7. So, like I said, it could be more, but that is the goal for now. And I'll go back to what I was. Hi, Laura. What's up, Daniel? Welcome in, people. Thank you for joining my live. Hi, Archer and Zoe. So, tonight we were supposed to originally have a mental health discussion, and I had planned to give out information, hi Connor, and talk about mental health for an hour. However, we did have to pivot. That's not going to happen. We're going to be on here for 30 minutes because I had an emergency meeting that's been scheduled for 7:30. Hey Jada. I had an emergency meeting that was scheduled for 7:30 today. So I had to change my plans because that meeting is an obligation, honey. I'm committed to that. That is with my sorority. I am a lady of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Can you help me deal with toxic friends? Well, let's talk about your toxic friends. What type of toxic traits are they displaying that makes you feel like they're toxic? If you give me a situation, I will better be able to help. But like I was saying, I am an AKA, and we are starting our first ever chapter in Dillon, South Carolina, which is my hometown. We're going to be the first D9 chapter ever in Dillon. And we were actually supposed to charter on Sunday, but if you're in South Carolina, then you know we have a warning for inclement weather this weekend. And so our meeting is to discuss what we're going to do moving forward with that. And so I do have to get on that at 7:30. But until then, I will be here with you guys. And so, as I was saying, let's see if I can okay, I was trying to pull the chat up on the screen on my side so that I could see the questions in real time or see y'all comments in real time. So yes, that was Archer who asked if I could help him deal with toxic friends. So let me know what your friends are doing that's toxic, and I'll give you my 2 cents on what's going on. But like I said, 30 minutes for tonight, so we're gonna go ahead and jump in because I want to cover as much ground as I can, seeing as how I had planned for an hour and I only have 30 minutes. So I'll start by letting you all know who I am, why I'm able to talk about this topic. As you can see, I'm in my bed clothes. I plan to actually have some clothes on and eat dinner with y'all, but like I said, had to pivot my plans. It's just one. So Archer says it's just one friend that he is having issues with, and he's kind of like spreading rumors. Are the rumors about you, or are the rumors about someone else in the friend group? Either way it goes, a rumor could be true, could not be true. So is he lying or is he telling the truth? And honestly, when you have, because people are gonna gossip, they're gonna spread rumors. It's just human nature. It's what people do. And so when you have somebody spreading rumors, whether it's about you or about your friends, whether the rumors are true or not true, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to confront them. I am not a person who is non-confrontational or does not believe in confrontation or conflict or addressing matters. I wholeheartedly feel like you should be confrontational. Like, you gotta address the elephant in the room. You have to talk about it. You have to communicate. I'm not telling you to go and be aggressive and be violent towards anybody. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is go have a conversation. We're adults. And if we're not adults, we're going to be adults one day. So let's learn early how to have a conversation about things that we don't like. And so just pulling that friend to the side, hey, you're spreading these rumors. Could you please stop? I don't like that because it makes me feel like this, and you fill those blanks in for what that this is that the friend spreading the rumor is making you feel. At that point, you also, you've stated what you wanted. You've put a boundary in place. I don't like that you're doing that. I want you to stop. That's your boundary. And if they continue on, you will have to end that friendship. Oh, Archer says that the rumors are about him. So the friend that's spreading rumors about you, do you want to maintain this friendship, or are you looking to end the friendship? What would be an ideal solution for you? What are you hoping to gain? Like, what are you hoping to see? What are you hoping the result to be in this friendship. He is trying to spread a false rumor and turning my other friends against me. Okay, so that's messy. Very messy. So once again, I'll ask, what solution are you hoping for? Like, what result are you hoping to get from the situation? Are you wanting him to just stop spreading the rumors about you? Are you wanting to fix your relationship with your friends that the rumors are ruining the relationships with? Are you wanting to maintain a relationship with the friend spreading the rumors? Because all of that kind of comes into play and it needs to be known for how you should move forward. If, like I said, if you are wanting to salvage this friendship, talk to him. Set your boundary. Hey, I want you to stop spreading these rumors. You doing that is making me feel bad, or it's making me feel sad, or it's hurting my feelings. You give them the opportunity to stop. If they don't stop, now you have to enforce a consequence for them not stopping. That consequence can look like, I'm no longer able to be your friend. I no longer want to communicate with you. We're going to just, you go your way, I go my way. As for the friends in the group that he is spreading the rumors to, if you want to maintain friendships with them, you may want to go have those conversations with them, either as a group or one-on-one with each person, to say, hey, this other person is spreading these rumors about me. This stuff is not true. You know me. We've been friends. So, give me the benefit of the doubt. Give me a chance to show you that what I'm saying is true and what in the rumor is a lie. And I feel like if those people are really your friends, then they will give you that opportunity to prove that you're not what the rumors are saying. That's understandable. So Archer said that he would like to keep the friendship, but not if he stays like this, which makes sense, because it's hard to maintain a friendship with someone who's gonna lie on you now. That's a big challenge. I wouldn't even advise it, because liars are dangerous. They dangerous. That's dangerous. I never know what you might say about me. I never know what you might tell somebody or have going in the background, and I'm completely clueless. I don't know anything about this. You just completely made it up. That's actually scary. But as I said, have that conversation. Set your boundary. And if that boundary is broken, enforce your consequences. In the words of my beautiful people from Love Island, because I love Love Island, stand on business. You got to stand on it. Stand on business. So whatever that looks like, whatever consequence that might be, you will have to stand on that. And hopefully your friends who are in your friend group will be open. They'll give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll continue being your friend and supporting you no matter what happens with you and the person spreading the rumors. Hopefully you will be able to maintain those other friendships outside of that if that one is not able to be salvaged. But best of luck to you, Archer, and I do hope that you are able to salvage your friendship. Maybe because people can change, people can change, and so maybe your friend will stop spreading rumors. Maybe they'll stop if you ask nicely, and if not, you have to enforce whatever consequence you see fit at that time. Because the thing about it is, boundaries are very important. We all need boundaries. Boundaries protect us. And once a boundary is crossed, you need to have a consequence that is going to reinforce, hey, that's a boundary. You can't cross that. I'm going to have to stop you in your tracks. I'm going to have to stop you right there. You're going a little too far. You're out of bounds. And so you have to have that consequence, because what do we learn? Well, I won't say what do we learn, but what I learned about conditioning. B.F. Skinner. This is a psychologist back in the day. But anywho, what I learned about conditioning is that there has to be reward and there has to be consequence for the conditioning to actually stick and take place. And this is in animals and humans. So anytime you set a boundary, a condition, you set that condition, you set that boundary. Whenever the boundary is followed through, then there's a reward. So if the rumors stop, the friendship continues. That's the reward. You still get to be in connection with me. You still get to be in relationship with me. But if the rumors continue and that boundary is constantly crossed, then that's where the consequence comes in. We have to sever this connection. The relationship has to end. We can't continue on being as close as we were, because I can't trust you. You may say something to try to ruin my life. And so rewards and consequences go hand in hand with boundaries. Anytime a boundary is respected, the reward is continued access, prolonged access to you and to whatever situation you guys have going on, whatever relationship you're in. It gets to be healthy, it gets to maintain. That's the reward. Anytime a boundary is crossed, consequence. It may mean the end of this relationship. And that is, I would say, that is the most extreme consequence. Severing a relationship, completely ending a relationship, that's the most extreme consequence. Now, extreme circumstances cause for extreme consequences. But if it's something smaller, something that's not detrimental that's going on, then you can always have a lighter consequence. Okay? It doesn't always have to be cutting somebody off and never talking to them again. That's not always realistic. So sometimes a consequence can just look like a modified relationship. Maybe, we're still friends or we're still cordial and cool, but we're just not as close as we used to be. I don't feel comfortable to be as vulnerable with you as I used to be. Consequences can just look like limited access, or can look like reclassification of a relationship. Like maybe you were my best friend and now, we're just friends, we're cool, cordial. Because that best friend title, we need boundaries and we need healthy relationship to maintain that sort of connection, that level of relationship. We need a lot of mutual respect of each other's boundaries to maintain that as a healthy relationship. Outside of that, we have to do some reclassification, some reevaluation on where your placement is in my life. And we should be doing that every so often. Every so often, we need to be evaluating situations, making sure these situations are healthy. Check-ins. I love a little check-in, a little temperature check, just to make sure we're all on the same page and everything is on the up and up. Okay? I appreciate you tuning in, Archer, and posing that question, getting the conversation flowing for tonight. That was a great topic, actually. I wasn't even planning to talk about boundaries, but it does have a big link to mental health, because boundaries help you maintain a healthy mental state. If you allow people to just come along and do whatever they want to do to you, however they want to do it, your mental health will take a toll. It will. You will not be as happy. You will not be as content. You may not be as joyful, as at peace, if someone is constantly challenging and breaking and running over your boundaries. If you have no boundaries at all, because we all need them. You have to. You have to have boundaries, because the takers, they're going to take. They're going to take whatever they can. And if you don't draw a hard line, you can take this, you can have this, but you can't have that. They're going to have it all. So boundaries and mental health go hand in hand. We need you in a healthy state. We need you happy. We need you at peace. We need you joyful. We need you to be, and not all the time, because obviously it's not realistic to be like that all the time. But as a baseline, you should be content. Baseline should be content. Yes, things happen. Things are always going to happen. But baseline should be content. Baseline shouldn't be anxious. Baseline shouldn't be super sad. Baseline shouldn't be angry. Okay? Baseline should be content. Across the board. For everyone. Now, do some have to work a little harder than others? Of course. Yes. Yes, it's not going to always look the same for everybody. But one of the things that you can start doing today to help yourself with that is setting and enforcing boundaries. No one should be able to just run freely inside your world with no restrictions. We need some boundaries in place. Like I said, boundaries protect you. They protect you. Respect yourself, love yourself enough to stand on your boundaries. I know it can be hard when we talking about family relationships, when we talking about close friends turned family. It can get very hard to enforce boundaries with people who we are close with, who've known us for a really long time. We've been in a relationship for a really long time. It can be tough, but it's needed. It's necessary. And like I said, for those relationships to be healthy, you guys will both mutually respect each other and respect each other's boundaries. And that's how you know it's a healthy relationship. Now, we've been on for about 23 minutes, and I know I told y'all 30, but I do need to get myself ready for my next meeting. And so I do want to wrap up a little bit. I don't want to just end abruptly. I'm going to do kind of a little synopsis, some key takeaways from our session today. We did not cover anything I had for us to cover, but that's completely fine. I'm completely okay with that. I like to go with wherever the conversation is going to go with you all in the comments. And so anytime that you're here and you want to talk, just shoot me a comment and we can always pivot. However, I want to give a little wrap up for what we discussed today. And so today we talked about boundaries and relationships. We talked about how to create boundaries, enforce boundaries, and then what happens if a boundary is crossed. We gave examples based on the information we received from our commenter, Archer. And I think it was a great discussion. He was thankful, or she, I'm sorry, I don't know the pronouns. I'll just say they were thankful. Archer was thankful. Archer was thankful for the conversation and the advice, which is not really advice. It's just, my 2 cents, honestly, what I think. And so I do want to say, I meant to preface this and say this in the beginning, but I'll say it now. This is not mental health advice. I am a licensed mental health professional, but this is not mental health advice. This is not professional mental health advice. I am not your therapist. This is just a very casual informational session, a very casual conversation between me and the community here. I do want to make that clear. I would not give any sort of mental health advice or any sort of therapy to someone who is not a client, who has not, gone through the proper channels to be a client of mine. So that's not what's going on here. As you can see, we're very relaxed. We're in our nightwear, getting ready for bed. We're already ready for bed, especially after that meeting gets over. I will be in the bed. I'm a grandma. I'm in the bed by 9 p.m. Okay? Usually sleep by 9:30. Okay? But yeah, and so we covered boundaries, respect, relationships, consequences, rewards. That was a good Skinner with the conditioning. We talked about that, hit on that tonight, clock it. But yeah, I think it was a great conversation. I will be back next Wednesday, if not another day this week, because I may get back on, and do what I originally planned to do tonight, that conversation, which was just a broad mental health discussion. And I may get back on, like I said, another day before the week is out to have that discussion. If not, we'll move that over to next week. So please come back and join us next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Fancy friends, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I will catch you all next week. Have a great night.